This year for Halloween, I've decided to be B squared. My motto's always been, be there or be squared. No? Really? All right, it's time for Bronco Beat.
Where's Will? He's always late. Every day. Oh, you're here?
What, dude? Oh, this is Bronco Beat, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just taking a nap like the Broncos defense did against the Mustangs at Morningside on Saturday. But that's none of my business. But it's time for recaps, is that right?
Yeah, starting with football.
All right, well, pretty much know the story as it's been the last, decade against Morningside. The Broncos lost 56-16. However, they can say they held a lead against the Morningside Mustangs. So 3-0 lead off an Alex Stockdale field goal after their first drive. And then the later half of the game, it got a little ugly, as we all expected pretty much. But different Bronco team this year. They are 5-3 now after that loss, 2-3 in the GPAC. Taj Willingham had both touchdowns for the Broncos, 109 yards on the ground. And yeah, the story in that one was just Morningside being Morningside. 56-16 final score for the football.
Really? Texting again?
What? Oh, time for volleyball?
What? Well, I mean, what's the sign, bro?
Dude, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it? Okay. Yeah, it's time for volleyball.
Well, the volleyball team had quite the weekend. And they're in a position to maybe take first place in the GPAC, depending on how they play down the stretch. But when you look at last weekend, on Friday evening, they took on Morningside College. And they ended up beating them, actually, after a rough start in the first set. Got off to a slow start, but then, picked things up later on the second and third sets. Krolikowski led with 11 kills in that match. Then on Saturday, they kind of found themselves in a similar position. You had Dordt College in town, and the Broncos found themselves down 0-2, 2-0, just like they were in the national championship last year. And what'd they do in the intermission, or after the intermission? Came right back out, won 3 straight sets to take it in 5 sets, the whole match victory. Now, on Wednesday night, they played Midland University out in Fremont, and they split the first 2 sets, which was a little bit surprising. But the final 2 sets they took and handily won 3-1. You on your way? Okay, cool. See you in a bit.
Yo, who are you talking to?
Dude, I'm on the phone.
No, you're not. That's your lock screen, bro.
I was trying to see if Connor and Holly were on their way, but I thought it was interview time.
I think they are, but it's soccer recap time right now. Because that's what you forgot, as well as your jacket.
You're right. Well, the men's soccer team last Saturday played Northwestern in Orange City. Daniel Simonis led the charge with 2 goals, and Daniel Whitehall added another one yet again, his 20th of the season in that contest. Broncos won handily, 3-1. And then on Wednesday night, they beat Concordia in Seward to clinch their 18th straight conference title in a 2-1 contest. Jake Ridpath had the first goal. Daniel Whitehall, of course, had the second.
So, Will, what you doing there, bud?
Just getting ready for the basketball recap?
What basketball recap? They haven't played the game yet.
Right.
That's also a soccer ball.
Right.
You also don't have your jacket.
Right. So, I'll put my jacket on. But Northwestern and Hastings met up last Saturday on the women's side of things as well as the men's, as I mentioned. And the Broncos got the game-winning goal from Emily Wyant. So they won that game 2-1, putting them in position for a regular season GPAC title. However, when they went to Seward on Wednesday, they lost 1-0. So the 1 goal cost them a GPAC title, and the Bulldogs have now won it.
There we go.
Woo! Welcome back to Bronco Beat. I'm sitting here with Holly Hild, a senior on the women's basketball team. How are you doing today, Holly?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So let's get into the season a little bit. You started preseason lately. You know, how are those workouts going?
You know, it's good. It's been a long haul. I think we have 2 weeks left before our first game, but you know, we've just been going in and practicing and making sure we can put our best effort every single day.
How is you know, how has that effort? I mean, I'm sure it's not changed, obviously, you know, from freshman to senior year. But how has your perspective on the season changed as a senior now?
Yeah, you know, it seems to get shorter with every single year. My freshman year, I just thought, wow, I have 5 months ahead of me. Like, this is going to be the longest ride of my life. But now I'm like, wow, I only have 5 months left, and that totally changes your perspective on the season. You make every day count for sure. As a senior, I know all the other seniors feel the same way as well, and we try to implement that with the rest of the team too, is that you only have a limited time and you have to make the most of it. And
with the senior class, I think there's 4 of you. You know, you have a pretty young team. The young guys young girls stepped up for you last year. Emma Grenfell, Chandra Farmer. So what are you guys going to have to do this year to get back to Sioux City, do you think?
You know, like I have to first say that, like, I'm so proud of that class. That sophomore class has really stepped up and made sure that they put the work in just to be good. And I think if we just keep grinding away, we should be able to get to Sioux City. Right now we're talking about winning the day. That's kind of been our theme of the year. And so we're making sure that every day we win practice, we win lifting, and so then that turns into winning games and then winning a season.
For you personally, you had a pretty good year last year, second team all-conference, second team all-conference, and then you know, you won that Liston Award, and you got to travel, I think, to California to accept that award. So, kind of what was that experience like for you? What was last year as a whole like for you?
Right. Yeah. So I don't really look at just making sure that I achieve things. I put my time in to improve the team, and that's what I've always focused on, is that I want to do my best so I can give my best to everyone else. And so I make sure that I put 100% effort in at all times just to implement a way of being for the rest of the team, and so I can give that best work to everyone else. So I don't really think of it as accomplishments. I just put my day's work in day out.
So you guys were picked, I think, 5th in the preseason poll.
Yes.
What is your take on that?
You know, it's frustrating because, you know, you think we return a lot of people and we should be better, but I think it's a good opportunity to prove to people what we really can do, and that goes in with our mentality of winning the day. We need to focus on each day individually, so then we can build up and prove ourselves in the end, for sure.
Definitely should be another powerful year in the GPAC. You know, Concordia, Northwestern, those
we have some
teams.
pretty strong teams for sure this year. For sure.
So off the court now, I know you're a chemistry major, and part of that Liston Award was, you know, not only your play on the basketball court, but obviously like classroom work, community service work. So, you know, as a chemistry major, what's kind of your plans after college?
My plans? Well, I currently am applying to dental schools, and so hopefully I get in somewhere this year. Okay. I've been interviewing all of fall, and so I'll find out in December where I'll end up.
So you want to be like a dental hygienist or like a dentist?
Dentist. Yep, general dentist.
Okay. Awesome. So first game in the basketball season, November 10th.
Yes.
You know, what are you most looking forward to, I guess, it's the start of your senior season? I'm
so excited just to see how everyone plays and just getting out on the court, I love the competition of it. You know, you go to practice every day and you compete, but it's not the same. Like, I just love that hardcore grit on the court. It's just my favorite.
If you, in another life, would you have gone to college just as a college student, or would you rather be an athlete?
No, I would be an athlete 10 out of 10 times for sure. I value the team. I love the competitiveness, and you know, I think athletics really teaches you a lot about time management and about life and how to handle people. And I think the lessons you can learn from sports is too great to pass up.
Certainly a lot of friendships made on the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Some of my best friends.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Bronco Beat. Welcome back to Bronco Beat. You know what time it is. It's time for our preview segment. The men's basketball team will begin their season in the York Classic on Friday evening, playing Friends University at 5 p.m., followed by playing the host York College Saturday at 5 p.m. as well. Football will host Doane on Saturday at Lloyd Wilson Field. Kickoff set for 1 p.m. in their military appreciation game. Men's and women's soccer will play Morningside following the football game at Lloyd Wilson Field at 5:30 for the women, followed by a 7:45 start time for the men. Volleyball will travel up to Orange City on Saturday, taking on number 3 Northwestern, who they lost to in 5 sets just a couple of weeks ago. That game is scheduled for a 5 p.m. start. And then the volleyball team will end their season following Wednesday, November 1st, against Doane at 7:30 in Crete. Coming up on Bronco Beat, we'll have the Bronco Athlete of the Week, followed by a poll update. Stay with us. The Bronco Athlete of the Week this week is senior volleyball player Katie Plackey. Plackey totaled 36 kills over the course of their last 3 matches, 18 of which came in a 5-set victory over Dort. Not much has changed for the Broncos in the national poll this week. The football team dropped out completely and now are unranked. The volleyball team stays at 5 since there is no new volleyball poll. Men's soccer moved up from 8th to 7th, and women's soccer remained at number 20. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Bronco Beat. Have a happy Halloween. Until next week, we'll see you same place, same time. B squared out.